So the hardest part to making money is not the act of making money itself. It's not learning which business model's the best. It's not looking at the situation and thinking, how can I improve my business? It's nothing to do with the physical actions. It's more of a behind the scenes thing. It's the mental self-image that you hold. That's the hardest part about making money, because what will happen, and what I've experienced myself, in the past I'd start really popping off in my coaching and stuff like that. Start to really make some good money. And then I found myself just losing it again, or not being able to maintain that new level of wealth, right? So I'm here, I've made this amount of money, and instead of this now being my new norm, my new reference point, I go back to where I was before. So, okay, bam, I've just had a really, really good month, I've made loads of money. This should be my new reference point, this should be normal to me now. But instead I just drop back to where I was before. Why? Even though I've learned the knowledge, I've done it, physically I've made that amount of money. But I keep dropping to where I was before, even though I'm aware of how to make that much money again. So the obstacle here, what was stopping me from maintaining that life and consistently making that amount of money, because I had the knowledge to do it, I had the drive to do it, I was clearly capable physically of doing it. But mentally, I didn't believe that I was that guy. Mentally, I still was holding on to this self-belief of, I'm broke, right? I'm a broke boy. This is how I live. I'm broke, I'm hustling, I'm struggling, I've got to rob sandwiches from the corner shop. That was my self-image. So as soon as I updated my self-image to the guy that could live that kind of lifestyle, that maintained that lifestyle, I was the guy that just made money. That's just what I do. I make money. It's not a problem for me. It's not like an issue I'm trying to learn how to solve. It's just that's who I am. I just make money. Once you've achieved it once, you have to make sure the self-image updates as well. You have to make sure that you believe you are the guy that just does this now. It's the same with women. What guys do is they'll have a really, really good night out. They'll get like 6 girls in one night or something. I remember this happened to me back in the Playboy days when I first started to learn how to, I learned game and all that. I was just learning the whole game. And I had really, really good night outs once where I had like 10 in one go, fucking popping off, mate. It was crazy. So many numbers, so many Instagrams. And then the next night, or a week later, or whatever it may be, I'd just feel inconfident. Inconfident, is that even a word? I'd feel insecure. I wouldn't feel confident in myself. You know what I mean, right? I'd go back to my old self-image. Oh, I can't get girls. I don't know what I'm doing. Blah, blah, blah. That bullshit. I'm just shy. I'm just awkward. Girls aren't going to like me. I fell back into that self-image, and then physically, my actions and the way I carried myself represented that self-image. Now, what should have happened is as soon as I made that physical change, as soon as I had that one big break, as soon as I made that certain amount of money that I've never made before, as soon as I got that, amount of numbers in a club that I've never got before, I should have updated my self-image, because I've clearly proven to myself that I've done it. In physical world, I'm capable, I've achieved that. I can say that, yeah, I've got 10 girls' numbers in one night. Yeah, I've made thousands of pounds in a couple of hours. I've done that. So in order for me to keep living like that, to actually be that man forever, I have to make sure my self-image, the way I see myself, the way I talk about myself, the thoughts that I have to make sure that they are in alignment with the kind of guy that does that regularly. Now, this is what a lot of you boys are doing. Losing weight as well is another one. The fat guy goes to the gym, he starts losing weight. He feels really good about himself. He starts to feel confident. What happens? Boom. Puts the weight back on again. So what is the obstacle here? Because physically they're clearly capable of doing it. They're clearly able to achieve the goal that they want. But then they just keep reverting back to what they used to be. And it's because the thoughts that they feed into, the thoughts that they think in their brain, are not in alignment with the man that they want to be. Pornography addiction is a prime example. I always give you guys the same advice. You must believe that you are the kind of guy that is simply doesn't watch porn, simply is not an addict. Rather than seeing yourself as the guy that's always going to be an addict, it's always a problem I'm struggling with, I'm just a porn addict. No. You see yourself as the kind of guy that has complete control over his hands and his brain and what he does with them. And that's who you are. You believe that that is you. Now, in order to make a thought become a subconscious belief, you must just simply think it more. Very, very simple. So in high school, if somebody called you ugly, okay, someone's called me ugly, it hurt my ego a little bit, like, oh, why is this guy calling me ugly? But you're not going to believe it straight away. The only way that thought or that word of him calling you ugly, the only way that you start to believe, oh, maybe I am ugly, maybe he was right, is if you feed that thought. It's like watering a plant. I've got a plant over there, bro. Look at this shit. Look at that plant. Thriving. I've had it for years and it's still alive. I barely even water it, to be fair. He's just a fucking soldier. But it's like watering a plant. If I leave that plant to die, it's not going to grow. If I don't water it, it's not going to grow. It's the same with your thoughts. So if you keep giving energy, which is basically water, to the thought, which is the plant, right? If you keep giving energy to these negative thoughts of, oh, I'm ugly, I can't make money, I'm broke, I can't get girls, I'm just an addict, all of these negative thoughts, if you keep feeding into them, if you keep giving them mental energy, they're going to keep growing. And if they grow large enough, that's when it becomes ingrained in your subconscious mind. That's where it's a deeper layer of thinking. It's a different realm of thinking. And you can only tap into that realm through deep meditation, sleep, and, being in a dreamy state, or just simply repetition, which is the easiest one. Repetition is the easiest way to do it. Because most of your life you are awake and you're consciously approaching the world. When you're asleep, cool. Before you go to sleep, visualize who you want to be. Make sure your thoughts are always positive when you're going to sleep and when you first wake up in the morning. When you're in that kind of sleepy, half awake, half asleep stage, just before you're falling asleep and just as you wake up, that is when your subconscious mind is open. That's when it's more susceptible to being molded, to taking in new beliefs. So, when you're dreaming, when you're asleep, that's important. You want to make sure your thoughts are positive. You want to make sure your thoughts are in alignment with the man that you want to be. You want to make sure that you visualize your life how you want it to be. You'll find that you start to believe that you are that guy a lot quicker. Repetition is also a very easy one. Just make sure that the thoughts that you think, the thoughts that you give energy to and feed into, you want to make sure that these thoughts are positive. These thoughts serve you. They give you power. They give you confidence. You must truly commit to the mindset of the man that you want to be. So the man that makes loads of money is not once going to wake up and think, oh, I'm broke, oh, I'm struggling. He just isn't. Because he's always in abundance. He always just believes he can just make more money. Even if physically he's broke, even if physically he has no money in his bank account, he doesn't believe that he's broke. He doesn't believe that he is a man that is broke. He believes he can just make more money. He believes that he'll find a way of making more money. You see the different mindset, you see the different self-image. One guy views himself as a broke guy. The other guy views himself as an abundant guy in a broke situation. There's a difference between your external situation and who you are as a person. There's a difference between that. You must learn the difference and you must make sure that you're serving into positive thoughts only. Okay, so we mentioned sleep. That's a very, very good way. Just before you're falling asleep, just before, just after you wake up, when you're in that sleepy stage, that's a key moment to visualize. That's a key moment to make sure your thoughts are nothing but positive. Every single day, really, as you're walking about your day, just pay attention, be mindful of your thoughts. I know it's easier said than done when you're in the rigmarole of busy life, right? The rat race of busy life. Got my words tangled there. It's hard to stay mindful, but do it because it's worth it. And obviously deep meditation is also another way to do it, which I haven't been doing as often as I used to. I really used to just take time out and sit in nature and just meditate and just sit with my own mind. And I recommend you do the same thing. I'm definitely going to get back into it. I still meditate, just not as much as I used to do. I'm very busy now. There's a lot going on. No excuse, I know. I'm simply slacking. That's it. I'm getting back on it and you should do too. Now, as soon as I changed that, as soon as I started to just see myself as the guy that made money, I was just that guy, almost like a pimp or some shit. Do you know what I mean? That's how I view myself, like that guy that has an abundance of money coming in constantly. Honestly, when I tell you it's like magic, money just constantly came in. I don't know what it was. Past couple of days, I've taken my girl out on dates every single night, new restaurants, new fancy places. She keeps looking at me and thinking, why do you keep taking me to these places? Like, where are we? You know what I mean? It's crazy now. Because I used to be the guy that walked around with holes in his fucking socks. Couldn't even afford new shoes. Blisters. Because I was wearing the same fucking small shoes. And now I'm taking my girl to different restaurants every night. So the only thing that's changed really is my mindset, is the way I view myself. Now I live in abundance rather than scarcity. You understand? I was sat in the restaurant with fucking Nigel Farage the other day, a politician in the UK. And I had to look back and I was like, is that him? Am I in the same restaurant as this guy? The fuck? But it's crazy. It's a different life now. And before I would operate and I would walk around with scarcity. I'd be scared of spending money. I'd be scared of giving money out. And that's what kept me in this never-ending cycle. But now that I've flipped it into abundance, I don't even think about it anymore. I don't even check the bill. And it seems like I'm flexing when I say this. It seems like I'm being arrogant, or it seems like I'm trying to show off. Oh, I don't even check the bill when I go on a date at a restaurant. It's not. It's simply just to give you an understanding of how drastically and how quickly as well your life can change with the right mental attitude. It almost happened overnight. It's not, because it's a process of days and years of me constantly refining these beliefs, refining my self-image. But when it hits, when it happens, when you start to just see money coming in from random different areas that you wouldn't have even thought possible, that's when it feels like it was an overnight success. It's powerful, man. So if you want to learn how to do this properly, the coaching's down below in the description. Click there, come and talk to me on a one-to-one level, and I will rewire your mindset within at least an hour. All right, maximum 2, but at least 1 hour you will be a new man. The sexual mastery course is also down below in the comments in the description. If you struggle with your porn addiction or premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, semen retention, the list goes on. Any sexual problem you can think of, that course will solve it for you down in the description. All right, look after yourself. I'll see you soon. Bye.